In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint your Space Marine vehicles for Warhammer 40,000. We'll cover everything you would expect to find on a Space Marine vehicle, including equipment and weapons, as well as how to paint Space Marine armour and how to highlight it, along with other key details. Don't worry though, because I'll walk you through painting Space Marine vehicles in a really approachable step-by-step way that's easy to follow along with, so by the end of this tutorial, you'll have the knowledge and confidence to get your own fully painted. And if you stick around until the end, I'll even show you how to paint a navigation console. My name's Michael and welcome to TableTopReady. Today we're going to be painting an Ultramarine Landspeeder so you feel more confident about painting any kind of Space Marine vehicle you have. And so you know, all the paints and brushes I use will be shown on the screen as I use them, and they'll also be listed in the description along with links to my favourite hobby tools and equipment you see me using. So before we get started, we'll first have to get our Landspeeder ready for painting, which involves building it and getting it undercoated. And when assembling the Landspeeder, I've built the main body but kept a lot of the smaller parts separate that would be difficult to get to or would get in the way of painting. I also left the navigation console separate just so I could show you how to paint it, but if you want to do the same, just make sure to clip any location pegs off. For the undercoat we're using Macragge Blue, which gives us a strong foundation for that blue armour, but remember you can use whatever colour undercoat you prefer. And if you want to learn more about getting your miniatures ready for painting, I do have a dedicated video on the channel that covers sub-assemblies and undercoating your miniatures in depth, so make sure to go and check it out. So when you're ready and have your Landspeeder built and undercoated, we can get started. In this first section, we're going to work on getting all the functional metals done whilst learning the fundamentals of painting. Let's start with iron hand steel for any details and features that are going to be silver, and for best results we want to thin our paint, and I find an equal amount of water does the trick, and this is the same for metallic paints as well. Let's also remove excess paint from our brush on some paper towel first to give us more control when painting. Then when you're ready to start painting, we want to keep our brush moving and avoid going over areas we've already painted to prevent creating any unwanted texture whilst the paint is still drying. And the main reason I like to get any metals painted first on vehicles is because it gets messy once we start applying shades and doing dry brushes. We don't want to worry about ruining any work we may have already done painting the armour. Once the first layer is done, because we thinned our paint, it won't have covered very well, so we'll need to repeat the process and paint another layer. If you're interested in learning why and how we thin our paints, go check out my video going into more depth. Painting Space Marine vehicles isn't really that different from painting Space Marine infantry, they're just on a larger scale, and you find that we're still using the same fundamentals, steps and techniques throughout, so try not to overthink it. Now we've gotten our base colours done, we want to start bringing out all those details, making them easy to see. The best and most straightforward method is using Norn oil, because this will flow into all those recesses and details, creating definition. And when using any kind of shade, we want to thoroughly shape the pot first, and then use enough to cover our details comfortably, but not so much that it pulls up in areas we don't want it to. And if you do see any pooling, just use your brush to pull away the excess. It's also important to keep an eye on it as it dries, because shades can continue to collect in unwanted spots. Once the Norn oil has completely dried, the next thing we're going to do is layer iron hand steel onto the raised area and flatter areas of the grav plates and thrusters, where the Norn oil has darkened the silver. These are key features of the vehicle, so it's worth putting a little extra effort into them to help them really stand out. And when you're happy with how vibrant these features look, we can create some interest on the thrusters with Agrax Earth Shade. Apply it towards the end of each thruster to give them a cool heat stained effect. Something else these areas will benefit from is some highlighting, which will help draw our attention to edges, raised areas and important details. The first way of highlighting I want to show you is dry brushing, which is a nice easy way to pick out edges and raised details when there are so many. We're using Stumho Silver and we first want to work the paint into our brush before removing as much as we can on our paper towel until it's no longer coming off the brush. When you're ready, let's move our brush rapidly across details, so these are the only areas which paint will deposit, leaving recesses and shallow areas untouched. But make sure to take your time doing this and build your highlights up slowly, as we don't want to overpower any work done with our shade. After you're done with the dry brush, let's move on to highlighting the grav plates and thrusters, and for these I want to show you how to line or edge highlight them. We're using Stormhouse Silver again, and to make this as easy as possible, remember to thin your paint as normal and wipe off any excess on paper towel first. This helps prevent those thick blobby lines and keeps everything looking sharp. To highlight these details, just take your time painting thin lines along the edges to help draw attention to them, but if you're not confident painting line highlights yet, you can always dry brush these edges as well. And when you're done, you should see how much cleaner and sharper these highlights look compared to the dry brushed highlights, making these details stand out even more. I know that a lot of people avoid highlighting because of how frustrating and time consuming it can be, but highlighting is one of those techniques that really help our miniatures stand out, and it really does get easier with time and practice. We've done it, we've gotten our metals done and learnt some of the fundamentals, so let's move on to getting the armour painted. I'm now going to show you how to get your vehicle's armour painted so it looks nice and clean, ready for the tabletop. When painting your vehicle's armour, we want to start with our base colour, and because this is going to be for the Ultramarines, we want to use Macragge Blue. Again, make sure to thin your paint and build up to a solid colour with multiple thin layers, so we don't lose any details or create any unwanted texture. I also like to use a smaller brush when I'm painting around areas I've already painted, but don't worry if you make any mistakes, just tidy things up as you go. And I know we've already undercoated our Landspeeder with Macragge Blue spray, and I know it's tempting to just leave this as our base colour, but this isn't the same colour as we get in the pot. This means if we want to paint areas we missed with the spray or clean up any mistakes, it's going to look very different and stand out. Once you're happy you have a nice solid smooth looking base colour, we want to bring out all those shapes and details of the armour, and for this we're going to do a recess shade. We use a Night Lord's Blue, and if you didn't know, a recess shade involves painting directly into recesses and around details to create our definition, rather than using an overall wash which can be messy and darken the colours we apply them over. Don't worry if you're a bit messy doing this, we can tidy things back up with our base colour. Then once you're done, hopefully you can see how the recess shade has helped, and we can move on to highlighting our armour. Even though we're painting our Landspeeder in the colours of the Ultramarines, we can follow the same exact steps and paint any chapter of our choosing. All we need to do is change the colours. And I've got plenty of tutorials on the channel showing you how to paint other chapters of Space Marines. We covered highlighting earlier in this tutorial, but let's talk about the different kinds of highlights we can do. The first highlight we're going to do is called a chunky highlight, and for this we use an Outdoor Guard Blue, and this highlight wants to be quite a thick line so we can still see it once we've painted our edge highlights after this, helping to soften our lines and add depth and interest. Our next highlight is an edge highlight. I'm using Calgar Blue for this, and this is the same highlight we did for our grav plates and thrusters earlier. And because we're highlighting really angly details like this, it's actually quite straightforward because there are so many strong defined edges, so we can simply angle the brush and run it along those edges to create clean, consistent highlights. Of course, there will be areas where you can't rely on using just the edge of the brush. For those, just take your time and paint thin lines where we want our highlights to be. Our final highlight for the armour is called a spot highlight, and this involves painting dots of Fenrisian grey on all the corners and sharpest points of the armour where light would naturally catch the armour. If you want to know more about highlighting, then I've got a dedicated video on the channel which goes into more detail about what I find helps me and what I did to improve. When you're done, hopefully you can see how the highlights have helped to really define the shape of the armour, and we can now move on to getting all the weapons and cockpit interior painted. Now I want to show you how to get the weapons and cockpit interior painted, which are an essential part of painting any Space Marine vehicle. You'll have already painted the silver details on our weapons, so let's take a look at how to paint the muzzles of our specialist weapons. For these, I'd start with Rune Lord Brass as our base colour, and then apply Seraphim Sapphire over the top to create a little tonal variation. When that's dry, let's start creating some muzzle burn using Drakenhof Nightshade, and apply this about halfway up the muzzle towards the tip, and once that's dried we can transition into Druchii Violet. When you're happy with how everything is looking, let's highlight edges with Stormhouse Silver, but make sure to go light on these so we don't overpower the muzzle burn. It's always worth spending the extra time and effort painting cool effects like muzzle burn, and for me they're the more fun things to paint as well, and they really help our miniatures stand out on the tabletop. Now it's time to paint any decorative gold details, and for these we're starting with Retributor armour. When you have your base colour, we can apply White Flesh Shade to create our definition and give our gold more warmth. Then once the shade is fully dried, to make our gold more vibrant, let's layer with Liberate Gold, painting this onto the raised areas and details. Now we can finish any gold details, picking out the sharper edges with Stormhouse Silver. Now our weapons and decorative details are done, let's work on painting any weapon casings, the cockpit interior, and don't forget the Hunter Killer missiles using Abaddon Black for our base colour. We can then move straight to highlighting these details and features, starting with a chunky highlight with Corvus Black. After the chunky highlights are done, let's paint our edge highlights using Dawnstone. To finish your Hunter Killer missiles, we're painting the tips with Corex White and then the strips with the Mephiston Red. The last detail I want to paint in this section are the seats, starting with the drier bark as our base colour. Next, apply Norn Oil, which will help give them more of a leather appearance. To highlight the seats, start with a chunky highlight using Doomball Brown. Now we can finish painting our seats by painting our edge highlights with Gorfor Brown. We're nearly finished painting our Landspeeder, but there are a few details left to paint, so let's cover those in the final section of the tutorial. We're nearly finished painting our Landspeeder, but there are a few details left to paint, so let's cover those in the final section of the tutorial. You should already have any navigation consoles already painted, so let's just work on all those screens and switches. For the switches, let's mix things up for interest and paint some with Thousand Suns Blue with the Fenrisian Grey highlight, and the others with Mephiston Red, highlighting the edges with Squig Orange. We can't expect to be able to get everything finished in just one sitting. If we do, then we're only going to rush and forget all the fundamentals we've just learned. So just slow down and enjoy the process, and you'll have a vehicle you can be really proud of once you're finished. It's now time to work on the screens, and for these we're going to create gradients starting with Caliban Green for the bottom 2/3. Now we're going to continue to get brighter towards the bottom edge with Warpstone Glow for about the last third of the screen. The next thing to work on are the illuminated displays, which can be blocked in with Uruk Flesh, and whilst you're using this, let's also paint a chunky highlight around the edge. Then finish the display overlaying your lines with finer lines using Greek Khaki, and this is used for our edge highlights as well. Something that's really easy to do but adds a lot of character to the armour is painting a few small scuffs and scratches in the direction of airflow on the flatter areas and edges, and for this we can use Calgar Blue. And depending on the theatre of war, we can also add some extra colour around some of the recessed areas where the panels meet. Here I'm painting Doomball Brown directly into a few of the recesses. When adding effects like this, it's best to take your time and build them up slowly until you're happy with how they look. The last thing we can do is paint any headlights starting with Dawn Yellow. Then to finish the headlights, paint Phalanx Yellow into the recesses around the lights to make them appear brighter. If you have any Space Marines to paint and want a more in-depth guide, be sure to check out my dedicated Space Marine tutorial. I also have a tutorial showing you how I like to apply transfers so they look as though they've been painted on, so make sure to check that out as well. I don't often paint Space Marine vehicles on the channel, but I know how intimidating they can seem, so that's why I wanted to make this tutorial and show you guys how to paint your vehicles, but also show you how they're not that different from painting Space Marines, so don't worry about it. Now let's see how it turned out. But before we see the finished Landspeeder, I want to say a massive thank you to all the amazing people who've made this tutorial possible with their continued support. It really means a lot. Your generosity allows me to get all the paints, brushes and miniatures I need to make these tutorials so I can continue to help you get better at painting. And I especially want to thank everyone who has recently become a supporter or has donated to the channel. Thank you so much. If you enjoy the content here on TableTopReady and feel you get value from it, head over to the TableTopReady website where you can find ways to support the channel and help me create even more content. I also have a newsletter to keep you up to date with new tutorials, masterclasses and what I get up to behind the scenes. And as a thank you for signing up, you'll also receive a free guide packed with tips and advice on how to improve your miniature painting. We've now finished painting our Landspeeder, and I hope I've been able to give you the confidence and knowledge to paint your own. I've got plenty of other tutorials on the channel showing you how to improve your painting, and if you want to learn how to paint the Imperial Regent and Primarch of the Ultramarines for Robute Guilliman, I have a masterclass available through memberships and Patreon. I really do enjoy making these tutorials and I hope you find them useful. If you do, please leave a like and let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing about your own hobby and what you thought of the video. As well, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future content, and I'll see you in the next video.